Professor calls President Trump a mentally impaired, obese male with onset dementia. In one post, the professor fat shames, makes light of the mentally impaired, and stigmatizes dementia. Way to go woke, Professor Joke. I'm Dr. Duke, and this is The Dr. Duke Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Dr. Duke Show. Katie is not with me today. She's in Argyll, Scotland, combing sheep for her next collection of sweaters. But this, The Dr. Duke Show, is the only program that keeps you educated on the craziness impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses around the world. The theme of our show is Stupid Things Professors Say, starting with a Rutgers professor who claims that Donald Trump is making black women obese. Plus, Connecticut professor compares support for traditional marriage to support for the Ku Klux Klan. But we kick things off in Texas, where a psychiatry professor claims President Trump is mentally impaired and suffers from onset dementia. Yes, indeed, a Texas psychiatry professor claimed that Donald Trump is mentally impaired, cannot think normally, and is dangerous. University of Southwestern Medical Center professor John Talmadge made the assertion on Twitter, elaborating that, quote, when Trump is removed from office, he literally will not understand what happened. Notice the use of the word literally. He literally will not understand what happened. He will have to make up a story, tell lies, and rant about Hillary's DNC server. And what's shocking about this is a medical professional who's using his medical credential to evaluate a sitting president and then has the temerity to go on and tell you what Trump will do once he's removed from office. Notice the assurity of that, right? This professor has already got Donald Trump being removed. He's as delusional in his politics as he is delusional in his medical practice. He says, quote, I think it's early onset dementia in an elderly, out-of-shape, obese male. Okay, that's wonderful, right? So elderly, out-of-shape, and obese, and onset dementia. It's remarkable, isn't it, how sensitive these psychiatrists are, how unwilling to fat shame they are. Just goes to show you that progressives tell you one thing while doing the other. Quote from the professor, Trump has no policy. So now he's not just a psychiatrist. He is a policy wonk. Trump has no policy on any issue because his mental impairment means he cannot think strategically or in abstract terms. Let me just stop you here, Professor. How does somebody who can't think straight or abstractly manage to run circles around people like you? Explain that, Professor. If this is the delusion, the onset dementia of a fat, obese white male, what does it say about you that he's kicking your butt and taking names? Campus Reform asked Professor Talmadge how he can assess Trump or anybody's mental state without a face-to-face evaluation. Do you think? The professor replied, stating that a good doctor makes a diagnosis after a 1 or 2 hour interview. He notes that seeing hundreds of hours of video over a span of 20 years he's been watching Donald Trump. As you can imagine, that provides a lot more information and data than an actual interview. He says in the next sentence, quote, I am not a political person. He has donated more than $900 in the last 2 years to ACT Blue, Act Blue, which funnels money to Democrat candidates and causes. And from the further annals of professors who beclown themselves, we have a professor who ties black female obesity to Trump policies and racism. So let me see if I got this correct. You got Donald Trump, who's fat, racist, and obese, and because he's the president, he's making black women fat and obese. That's a nice little circle to square there. Check out this video.
We are living in the Trump era. And look, those policies kill our people. You can't get access to good health care, good insurance. The research says that black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower. And what public health practitioners think is that our stress responses in the body change our metabolism. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
And here you have it, right? Brittany Cooper, professor of women's and gender studies at Rutgers University, claims black female obesity is Trump's fault. On Black Women Own the Conversation on the Oprah Winfrey Network, Cooper said, quote, I hate when people talk about black women being obese. I hate it because it becomes a way to blame us for a set of conditions we didn't create. I love this, right? Big Mama Booty is not Big Mama Booty because she's eating too much Popeyes. No. It's because Donald Trump is president. And if Donald Trump just wasn't president, all black women would be Sade, right? That's not the way it works, Professor. She says, I hate it. This is a way to blame us for a set of conditions we didn't create. We are living in the Trump era. And look, all these policies kill our people. You can't get access to good health care or insurance. We're dying and getting fat because Donald Trump. Shut your pie hole, eat less, and live, right? Look, you're on Oprah's network. Let Oprah be your guide. Long before the advent of Trump, Oprah got big and she lost weight, and she got big and she lost weight, and she got big and she lost weight. The problems with overeating in all communities, including mine, is nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has everything to do with what you're putting in your mouth. This professor went on to point out research that cites black women lose weight at a slower rate than white women. So metabolism now is Trump's problem. So it's literally, she says, that race, it's literally, there's that word literally again, these professors, right? It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same, right? So, all right, literally again, Donald Trump is literally responsible for your metabolic problems. When Campus Reform reached out for clarification on her remarks, she said, quote, I wasn't making an argument about Trump administration policies and weight. Dr. Arlene Geronimus, research from the 1990s, argues pretty convincingly that black women have physiological stress responses to racial stimuli, and this affects our long-term health. I was citing a body of work and the president's status as a racially polarized figure that contributes to issues of race and stress for people of color. Okay, but you know what? I go back to Oprah. Oprah is also a controlling shareholder in Weight Watchers, right? She is the spokeswoman for Weight Watchers. Maybe if you watched a little less MSNBC and watched a little more Oprah, maybe you could lose that weight. And our final story. Professor compares support for traditional marriage to support for the Ku Klux Klan. Yes, you heard that right. That if you support marriage between a man and a woman, that means you support goofy guys in white hoods paroling around the South. That's apparently the argument. Well, the other interesting thing about this story is that it brings Chick-fil-A to bear on the issue. Chick-fil-A. Even if you don't like chicken, even if you don't like Chick-fil-A, and I feel bad for you if you don't like either one of those things. But if you don't, it's amazing. You ought to give thanks to Chick-fil-A because they seem to get on the nerves of every single progressive out there. So we're going to put this here, right? And we're going to see how many of our viewers are triggered. There you go. There's a little Chick-fil-A chicken. They'll make you want to go out and have a nice tall Dr. Pepper, right? Hey, progressives, onset dementia, Oprah Winfrey. How do we weave together the Ku Klux Klan, support for traditional marriage, and the little red chicken on Chick-fil-A advertising? Well, if you support traditional marriage, you support the Klan. This is Margarita Diaz, journalism professor. Well, there's two words you seldom see together. Journalism professor at Quinnipiac University in Hamden, Connecticut. Interviewing with the Register Citizen, she blasted the university about having Chick-fil-A on campus. As Diaz said on Twitter, quote, why does at Quinnipiac U continue to welcome at Chick-fil-A to campus? Journalism professor Diaz said on Twitter, this company's ownership has zealously embraced a homophobic stance. No, that's not true. They believe in traditional marriage. You can believe that marriage is between a man and a woman for biological, religious, sociological reasons. Oh, simply how about the whole child rearing aspect of it? You can believe that men and women are the ones who marry and not support the Klan, not support homophobia. In fact, we go back to this again. It's the same old tired lie. All the owners of a number of years ago, the owners of Chick-fil-A simply supported the idea when everybody else, including Barack Obama, including Hillary Clinton, supported the idea that marriage between a man and a woman. Now she calls simply supporting that. She calls that now homophobic, rabidly homophobic. We can do better, she says. She then said to the newspaper, the university should take a vendor's political and social beliefs into account when deciding to allow them on campus, right? What if Chick-fil-A were giving away money to racist organizations? Well, then they'd be racist. Supporting traditional marriage does not make you racist. Or the Klan, she says. Would we look the other way and invite them to campus? What makes discrimination against LGBTQ folks so different? And here's the thing. There's not a single shred of evidence, not one, not ever. Thousands and thousands of Chick-fil-A stores serving billions and billions of people every year. And you know what's never happened? There's not been a single complaint from any gay employee, and they hire them, any gay administrator, any gay client or customer. No one's ever complained that anybody at a Chick-fil-A restaurant or anybody in Chick-fil-A management has actually harassed or been bigoted towards anybody. See, the difference between giving money to the Klan and giving money to the Chick-fil-A people is when you give money to Chick-fil-A, you get Dr. Peppers. When you give money to the Klan, you get burning crosses. Do you not understand that, Professor Diaz? And the answer is no. She said, would we look the other way and invite them? What makes discrimination against LGBTQ folks so different? The school said it, quote, it would be scheduling conversations to better understand and discuss the student, staff, and faculty concerns related to using Chick-fil-A as a vendor. So we're going to get a bunch of liberal schools on the school's student government with a bunch of liberal faculty, and we're going to decide whether we should keep Chick-fil-A on campus. Chick-fil-A, be looking for a new alternative place in Connecticut right now, because this isn't going to end well. This idea that you have one screaming, preening lunatic whose ability to logically distinguish between the Ku Klux Klan and a chicken joint is going to now force a university-wide discussion about whether or not Chick-fil-A's values are meshing with our university values. It's coming, Chick-fil-A. Start looking down the road. Here's what you do. Find the nearest empty restaurant within a 1 mile radius of Chick-fil-A, move in there and off campus, and watch how all those university kids make the mile trek to get their Chick-fil-A. And that'll do. If you like the show, please consider supporting it by signing up for the Patriot Club. Just $25 a month keeps us going, gets you neat little goodies like this. Hey, you could pour your Chick-fil-A Dr. Pepper into the Dr. Duke Show tumbler. Perfection. Visit thedrdukeshow.com to get started. And that's it. For Freedom Project, I'm Dr. Duke. Until next time, stay educated, my friends.